I'm Brandon Cullins, and I want to talk to you a little bit about getting the right leads on a colt just before you go to the barrels and just loping circles, loping around anywhere. I always want them to be able to catch their lead easy. I don't want to have to do a lot to ask for it, and I always want them to get it every time. Because if one's on the wrong lead, it's like you're driving with a flat tire. Like if you're trying to go right and they're on the left lead, they're going to be pulling you to the left, or their shoulder's going to be dropped in. So I always want everything to be easy for them, and the way it's easiest for them is being on the correct lead and having that correct forward motion. So like when I start my colts, the Llewellyn Graham is a colt breaker that we use a lot. He does a really good job, and he breaks them a lot trotting a lot. So, and he lopes them some towards the end, but he's bigger on trotting them, which I think makes him a better horse. They have a great face, and they're really forward and really confident in themselves. And like I said, he'll start loping them a little bit at the end, but usually when I get them back, if they've only had 60 days, they're not 100% sure on their leads. So when I get those kind of colts, what I'll do at first, and sometimes colts will get a little bit either confused, or sometimes they'll just get like a little bit pissy with you. So it kind of have to read that colt depending on what they're doing and what you would do to fix it. But so as a rule, when I first get them back and I'm going to lope them, I just get them moving forward into a trot, get them shaped up a little bit like where I can see the corner of his eye, and then I kind of open my inside rein up and just kind of guide them into it by I keep my outside leg in them to block them from drifting out. Because if they float out, the weight goes on that inside leg, and they're not going to be able to pick that up and catch that lead. So I want to make sure that their hips up underneath of them, and that I kind of block anything from going this way, and open my inside rein up. Ooh. So I'll show you again. Just open the inside up, pushing my outside leg, pushing them to drive them up into that lead. That way it teaches them. This will carry over to the barrels too, because when you go in and leave in a barrel, that's how you want them to do it, to grab that inside or that lead from pushing that hip underneath of them, and that really helps them drive out of the barrel. Ooh. And then also if I have a colt and they pick that up and they're doing it great, and I just kind of keep going with it, and I don't work on it a lot because I don't want to make that like a thing. So once they get their lead, I just lope them around and keep going with it and lope the whole arena. Then I'll come do smaller circles or something. But I want them to realize that that's easy. Like that's to their benefit to catch the right lead. So that's showing them that this is life's easier when you're on your right lead. So that being said, if I have a colt that gets kind of belligerent and just like kind of wants to pick a fight with me by not getting his right lead, his correct lead, I'll let them lope on the wrong lead. Like if they want to, so if I have one, before I get to that point, if I have one and he catches the wrong lead in my circle or something, then I'll just like get into a lope. So say he's on the wrong lead, I'll just break down to a trot like that, then go right back in it. And I'll do that a couple times, because sometimes I'll make a mistake, so I don't want to crucify him for it, just kind of correct it and not make any kind of big deal. Like I won't stop one hard, because sometimes I feel like those colts they're looking for that. Like if they're having a bad day and they're kind of like, no, I want to fight with you a little bit, they're looking for you to make a deal out of it. So if you don't make a big deal out of it, you kind of take that away, and then they'll kind of come around to you. So if I have one that still isn't picking his correct lead up doing that, then I'll just go with it. I'll leave them on that wrong lead, and I'll lope around the arena, and I'll bring them into a circle, and I'll kind of give them their head. I won't ask for any structure, any frame or anything. I'll just give them their head, and then kind of show them like, hey, I'll put them in a smaller circle and say, hey, this is uncomfortable for you, isn't it? But hey, it's on you. You got to figure out your feet. Because that, to me, the way I train one, I want them to take over in the barrels, because I feel like that's the fastest way. I can't be there for them when we're running. Like you're running as fast as you can on a horse. You can't be perfect. So I need them to take care of me. I need them to think for themselves. I need them to still check with me, but I need them to take over where I need them to. So that being said, that they need to figure out the easiest way around that on their own. Because you could probably frame them up, hold them, pick them up, and put them in that correct lead, but then they're not really learning how to do it on their own, and then it becomes they become reliant on you to put them in the right place every time. So I want them to teach them where the right place is with everything I do, including the leads, and then they just know that's what I need to do. That's the easiest thing, and life's much easier that way. So that's the biggest thing is on leads I found with colts is make it their idea, because if they're loping around on the wrong lead for long enough, they're going to figure, man, this is a lot of work. So maybe it's my idea to go on the correct lead now, and then you both win. He's happy, you're happy, and everything's good. But so that's the biggest thing I think I found with leads. And forward motion, like don't try to trap them up, because like I said earlier, the more you pull on a horse's face, the more you stop their front feet. So if you're stopping their front feet by pulling on their face and trying to frame them up too much, like how are they gonna pick that lead up, pick that front foot up if you're pulling it down? So I always want a lot of forward, and like I said about driving my outside leg into them to really make them catch that. Because I want this, if their hip comes up underneath of them, you have complete control of their front end. And if you try to get control of their front end before you have control of their back end, it's kind of a losing battle. It's like taking a wheelbarrow full of concrete and running down a hill with it. Like it's going to be hard, and everything's going to like go down there. It's one thing that a horse that I don't get along with is one that's too heavy on the front because they don't use their back. And I just feel like it's harder for everybody. So I really always try to keep them driving from behind. And once I get that straight, everything else up here comes pretty easy.